Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to r/life stories, where we read a mix of legal advice, revenge stories and neighbors from hell stories all in one video. If you are new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe to join our awesome community, and without any further ado, let's dive right into the stories. And the first one starts like this. I got my degree and was not able to get a promotion at my current company. I let my boss know I was looking for a new job and handled the move professionally. I left on good terms. I started my new job at a significant bump in pay and quickly discovered it was nothing like the DBA job I had interviewed for. Instead of managing databases, I was expected to learn a proprietary coding language created by my new boss. There was no documentation and he treated everyone like an idiot if they asked questions while trying to learn. After 3 months I had a review, I was told I was doing great and given a raise. I continued learning and persevering through my boss's abuse. 3 months later I was pulled into another meeting with my boss and his boss. I was told I was not meeting expectations, although they wouldn't explain how, and told to sign a document putting me into a lesser position at a significant cut in pay. If I did not sign, I was told I would be fired. I signed and immediately started looking for another job. I called up my old boss and asked for a reference. She told me she would do so happily, but I should know she had just submitted a job requisition for a new position that I would be perfect for. We discussed it and I agreed it would be a fit. I went through the interview process and got the job at a higher salary than my company had started me at. The only problem was that they couldn't bring me on until January 1st, it was October. I said that was fine. For the next 3 months I made sure to use all my vacation and did next to nothing while at work. I scheduled vacation for the last week of the year. On the last business day of the year I came into the office, handed in my laptop and a letter of resignation that was effective immediately. They were actually surprised that I was quitting. And the next story. Back when I was a wee kid, we lived across from a popular public pool in a tiny street, so parking was premium. We sometimes had issues with people parking across our driveway, but we were pretty chummy with the pool owner and would just get him to put the message out over the loudspeakers and the people would come over, apologize and move their car. However, one afternoon coming home from school, this person had the audacity to park in our driveway, in our garage. My dad was dumbfounded. We went over and put the message out as per usual, and this woman in her 30s came over in a huff and said she would fix it when she had finished her exercise routine. So my dad just parked behind her and we went out for dinner for 4 hours or so. She was super pissed, but the story doesn't end there. She kept doing it. Usually 2 to 4 times a month. Eventually my dad would not think twice about parking her in and letting her out at his own leisure. No problem by us, lots of problems by her. She once called the police on us, to which they just told her to not park on private property and wrote her a citation. But wait, there's more. One Saturday morning she had the gall to park us in our own driveway. Dad had had enough. He made sure she was doing her laps, grabbed a coat hanger, jimped the car open and dismantled the passenger seat, taking it out and leaving it on the curb in front of the pool exit. He then sat on our front deck zipping his tea as she came out of the pool to get her car. She walked past the passenger seat without a second glance and scowled at him as she opened her car and got in. She then did a double take as she went to put her bag on the seat. She freaked out, realizing that my dad had had access to her car and belongings this entire time and done nothing about it until now. She ran over, grabbed her seat, put it in the boot and drove off. Never heard from her again. And guys, if you have watched until here, please don't forget to post some star emojis in the comments if you want to support me. Thank you so much in advance. And by the way, it would be absolutely epic if we could maybe reach 1000 likes on the video once again. Thank you so much. The title story is titled, "A Wild Karen Got Arrested with a Felony." Background: I'm a 35-year-old father of 2 boys. I have PTSD due to time overseas and have the physical scars to match the mental scars. I have an incredible wife that knows me and knows what situations I should avoid. My children are amazing, but this story revolves around my youngest son and my service dog. Jay, my youngest son, has autism and we share a special bond because some things that set him off also put my teeth on edge. Spike, my English bulldog, he's my service dog, he is well trained, lazy, judgmental and overall uninterested in anything he cannot eat. He is also very in tune to Jay and my emotions and will provide a distraction when we get overwhelmed. Basically, he's like, oh, you are stressed? Here, scratch my butt, you will feel better and I will get attention. It's a win-win. The story: my family recently moved to Texas because we now live very close to an amusement park we got memberships for. Shout out to the park for being amazing when it comes to special needs. This particular park in Arlington, Texas has a special program for autistic people. They have rooms set aside to chill at if you're overstimulated, so you can relax, go back out, get overstimulated again, and around and round you go. With Jay, we also don't have to wait in lines. This is a huge thing and the cause of this story. The park has a pass that lets you skip most of the lines and they charge an arm and a leg for this. However, with that pass you still end up in a line of the hundreds of people that also have that pass. Jay gets no lines at all, we get a special pass and we go in through the exit. The worker signs the pass and we go on the ride. Jay has a favorite ride, the log ride. There has been days that we would ride the log ride over and over, then eat. We also have the food pass which we pay for, and then go back to the log ride. On this day, T, my oldest, and Jay wanted to go on the log ride. So we made our way to the exit and left wife and Spike in the shade because someone has to stay with him and bulldogs and rides don't mix. As we were going in the exit, a woman started screaming at us. I have absolutely no hearing on my right side, thanks high pressure wave, so didn't consider it worth turning my head to listen. Now, because we ride this ride almost exclusively, the workers on this ride know us by name and sight. Jay even talks to them, which is rare. We go in, show the pass, sit and ride. This time though, Tabitha, or Tabita, I'm not sure, I will call her Tabita because Karen is overused, the woman that was screaming at us as we were walking in through the out, made her way to where the speedy pass ends at the right, where a red t-shirt guy will check her pass and let her go on her way. She didn't even want to ride, she just wanted to yell about us going in through the exit and how we are abusing the system. Now, anyone that looks at Jay can see he is in a world all of his own and wouldn't be surprised if he's literally reading the future or talking to aliens. He is awesome. The red shirt tries to calm her down. T is getting upset because he's a normal 9-year-old and adults yelling is uncool. Jay making his excited sounds and waiting for the lock to stop so he can get in. We get in and as we float away, we still hear Tabita screaming. The ride ends and we exit. We figured we would never see Tabita again, but obviously as I am pointing this out, it didn't go that way. Tabita appeared like a dark brother after making the sacrifice, Elder Scrolls reference, hooting and screaming. She is screaming that just because Jay is in our word, that doesn't mean we get extra rights. The screaming causes Jay to let out his super screech. Now, anyone that knows autism knows that autistic kids have superpowers. In Jay's case, it is a supersonic, ear-shattering, high-pitched screech that makes your eyes swim and makes it feel like things in your head are moving that shouldn't. This whole time, Spike was laying on the ground in the froggy position as bulldogs do, just looking at Tabita like she's a rabbit dog but not worth getting up for. As we are being screamed at, I see 2 officers approaching from behind Tabita. I smile, and my smile must have broken Tabita because she hauls off and kicks Spike, our dog. This flips my switch because now my family is literally under attack and I start to react. Before I could make contact, Tabita is already in the air, being held, carried half, dragged away while being cuffed. Now in front of me is a well-dressed and pissed-looking officer. He tells us he heard the screech and started heading to it because they thought a ride broke or something bad happened. I take the time to unflip that switch and examine Spike. He is limping and crying. I feel his hips and feel that his hip is dislocated. I jokingly ask the officer to walk away and let me get some. He of course has no humor to this, but also can tell I had a career. He asks what happened and we all explain what happened from A to Z. He asks if Spike is a service dog. I say yes. He smiles. I'm not in a smile mood, but it catches me off guard. He explains that in Texas to intentionally injure a service dog is a felony. By this time, park security arrived and issued a trespass order to Tabita. The officers ask if I want to press charges. I look at Spike and look back, yes, I say. Tabitha and her tiny mouse-like husband start to freak out as Tabitha is loaded onto a golf cart. We hop on a car too and leave to go to the vet. The vet fixed Spike and all is well. We went back the next day with Spike in a stroller, no one better than I, and everyone loves the bulldog in a stroller. I let people pet him, he's a hoot, and the park is an amazing place. I have been contacted by the investigating officers and have given depositions. I may have to testify, but I look forward to sitting on the bench with Spike on my lap. And Ripe Stars, I am wondering, what is your favorite amusement park in the United States? Because, at least for me, without the shadow of a doubt, the United States has the best amusement parks in the entire world. In addition, I am wondering if any of you guys also play MMOs, and if so, which one is your current favorite? Fittingly enough, as the person in the story mentioned, I also play ESO at the moment, Elder Scrolls Online, and it is a fantastic MMO, especially if you just play it in a chill way. Anyway, the next story starts like this. Several years back, a girlfriend of mine had come over to my house to bring me some leftovers from a big family holiday party they had held at her house. While she was there, I said I had to take out the garbage, and so she sat down to use my computer. She logged onto her messenger and messed around on the computer for a bit. I came back in and she told me she had to hurry and get home because of some family emergency, so I walked her out to her car and kissed her goodbye. I went back upstairs and text messages to her phone were flashing all over my computer. She had forgotten to log out, and her telecom service provider and the messenger company had an agreement where texts could be sent and received via the computer. I read message after message for 7 hours, getting progressively more drunk as I did. From the one-sided content of the messages, I was able to ascertain that she was currently dating at least 5 different men and had actually left my house to go to one of her other boyfriend's house to spend the night. I continued to drink and read the messages well into the night. At about 1 o'clock I went to the payphone in front of my apartment and called the cell phone of the boyfriend at whose house she was staying. He answered groggily and I asked him to pass the phone to her. She answered jokingly, thinking that it was one of his friends, but suddenly was filled with shock and dismay when she recognized my voice. She accusingly went on the offensive, asking me how I had gotten the number and yelling at me for being so suspicious. She hung up and then wouldn't answer either his phone or hers for the rest of the night. I continued to drink myself into a rage before compiling all of the texts and associated phone numbers in a Word file. I then added all of the texts she had sent me and pictures from overseas trips we had taken together that were slightly risque, but proved beyond all doubt that we were actually engaged in an intimate relationship. I wrote her a harsh email about how her betrayal was duplicitous and willfully cruel in nature, and that she was worse than any lady of the night because these people, all parties, know all of the transactional costs of the relationship in advance. She had met my mother, she had been a bridesmaid at another boyfriend's little sister's wedding, and was discussing what furniture to buy after she got married to yet another boyfriend. I compiled all of this info and sent it to her, making sure to CC every person on her messenger list. All 70 of them, her mother, father, sister, brother, friends, acquaintances, co-workers and all 5 boyfriends who had sent her texts that day. She became an urban legend among her friends, was forced to retreat from social life, cancel her phone and close all of her SNS and Messenger accounts out of shame. I heard later that it became so bad that her parents had sent her overseas. I got phone calls from the other boyfriends the next day requesting a meetup. 4 of the 5 of us got together over beers to compare notes and text messages and dates and schedules, confirming that everything I had discovered was true. I vomited and shook with rage when I discovered what she was doing, but in retrospect I am still amazed how fully she was able to manipulate and maintain 5 different serious and long-term relationships simultaneously. The complexity astounds me. It is almost worthy of a Baxter meme if I weren't still so damn mad. I worried for a long time about legal ramifications, because we live in a country where slander laws can be applied severely even in cases where the slander is true, but I never really regretted what I did. If I spared at least one other man the heartache, rage and trust issues I experienced, then it was worth it. For those wondering, we live in Korea, which has a law that covers defamation. Slander is perhaps a poor choice of English equivalent on my part, but it is often translated as injury to a person's honor, defamation, slander, libel, etc. It can be 100% true and still be a criminal offense. It's a common tactic of big corporations and the wealthy for silencing people on their crimes, but could undoubtedly have been applied to a case like this as well. Thanks for all the comments of support. I'm not really angry anymore. For a couple years I loathed all women, trusted none of them, and often found myself waking in the middle of the night, grinding my teeth and cursing, but that is all in the past. I am now in a loving relationship and have a wonderful baby boy with my new partner. I really couldn't be happier. But there is no erasing emotions so intense from the memory that I know of, and thought people on here might enjoy the story. For those who have experienced similar things, I would just like to tell you, there is hope. Homeowners Association is at it again. I hate our HOA with a passion. When we moved in here, it was to be with friends, and I did not think the HOA would do anything. It is just for show, really. We have a half-assed playground and a few flowers at our neighborhood sign. So we have kind of always wondered where our fees go, you know? So in July we got a letter about how the community was renovating and we all needed to go buy paint and repaint our garage and front doors. Which actually I had been thinking about doing that anyway because our back door has scratches on it because dog. But this letter, you guys, it's like step 1, go to the counter, because we already talked to the store and did price comparison for you, and here is the colors we approved. Which is cool, you know, gotta have everyone similar, cannot have somebody with a pink door or something like that. So we go yesterday to get the paint, take the letter with us. That is when my husband reads it properly, there's only one person we can talk to. Only she can approve this massive 10% discount for us. Then I get a look at this color. I like my door color. It is red, not bright noxious red, a stately dark red. I love it. Turns out we cannot have red anymore. My approved color is purple. Burgundy my ass. This crap is purple. I hate it. I am pissed off. Hubs and I put 2 and 2 together. Only one person can approve this discount. You guys did all the work for us and got us this discount, huh? My petty revenge? F you, we are military, we get 10% anyway. So you won't be getting any kickbacks for us. I don't know about you guys, but I would definitely not want to live in a neighborhood where every single house looks the same. In either case, this weird sense of uniformity is not really something that appeals to me. Does it appeal to you? Let me know in the comments. Next one is titled, No, I will not ask some kids to leave your playground. Years ago, I moved into a new house in a fairly new development and foolishly thought it was the right thing to do and went to the first HOA meeting. I somehow came out of that meeting the newly elected president, a position I loathed for the 18 months I put up with it. As president, I was pretty lax on what was allowed. You are not asking to paint your house all black with a giant middle finger on the side, we are cool. My main concern was keeping the common areas maintained, for example stormwater runoff pond, couple of green spaces, everything else was just noise. Now the development one street over from ours had a much more, let's say, aggressive HOA, but to be fair, they had a lot more houses and common property to maintain, including 4 different playgrounds. In my community we did not have any. Somehow the president in that other neighborhood got my number and I had to have this conversation with her. Me for me, CHP for crazy HOA president. Me, hello, CHP.
Hi, I'm the HOA president for this community. I need to talk about a problem that affects both of us.
Me, okay, CHP.
We've had a lot of kids that I know that are not a part of our community playing basketball at one of our playgrounds, and it is very disruptive and keeping our kids from using it. I know a lot of those kids are probably coming from your neighborhood.
Me? What am I supposed to do about that?
Well, I have asked them many times to leave, but they just don't listen to me. So here is what we should do. Next time this happens, and I know they are from your neighborhood, I'm going to call you and I need you to go over and tell them to leave.
I literally did not say anything for a minute. I was so stunned she thought this was a good idea. Me? No, I will not ask some kids to leave your playground. If those kids are not leaving the playground when you ask, what makes you think they are going to leave when I ask? CHP getting huffy now.
So you are saying you're not going to help with this problem? What do you propose we do then?
Me, get rid of the basketball court. If there's a basketball court, kids will go there to play. Period. CHP.
Well, that is not acceptable.
Me, well, short of hiring private security or calling the police every time you think someone is trespassing, I don't have any solutions for you. CHP.
I cannot believe you won't help your fellow HOA president.
Ironically, my wife and I moved into that same neighborhood with CHP recently, and she was one of the first people to greet us. I am pretty sure she does not realize it was me she was talking to years earlier. Even the HOA does not like Kickback Guy. Hi, long-time lurker, first-time poster. A little backstory, I am Canadian and I currently live in a condo complex run by a board of directors, which is our HOA. They are responsible for the upkeep of the common elements, and for a long time they have been quite reasonable. Until this guy came along. I will call him Kickback Guy, and you will know why later. I did not know about the existence of this man until a friend of my sister came to my house asking us to sign a form that allows her husband to be our proxy. Now, proxies are people who vote and make decisions on the owner's behalf, and we usually sign them because we don't want to be any more involved in HOA stuff than we have to. This was no different. According to my sister's friend, Kickback Guy has been receiving money and or benefits or kickbacks from companies that offer their services to us ever since he has served on the board. When we had to pay a special assessment to have our windows replaced, for example, he had this done for free. Kickback Guy was also the one who suggested that we pay another special assessment that the board rejected, and that we pay $50 for each new fob that would work on the newly constructed gate arms. After the owners complained, that notice was taken down, and my sister's friend told us that they can just reprogram the existing cards and fobs to work with the gate arms. Thankfully, the HOA is doing their darnest to get Kickback Guy off the board, as he has been causing them enough trouble as it is. They cannot fire him, so they are waiting for election time when the owners and the proxies can vote his butt out. I cannot wait to see the results of our annual general meeting. Edit, thank you for all of your support and advice, everyone, I really appreciate it. Unfortunately, I think that as a homeowner who does not know Kickback Guy personally, it is best for me to stay out of these shenanigans and let the HOA sort things out themselves. They got themselves and us into this mess, so I am leaving it up to them to get us all out. Don't worry, if enough homeowners complain, our HOA will eventually get things done. By the way guys, with all these small town politics and people on power trips, I'm curious, have you guys ever participated in politics? Let us know in the comments. FHOA, fix the stupid gate. I have lived in an HOA for 6 years, so far I have not lost my sanity too badly. A couple things due to an issue with a poorly handled property management company, as well as chronic underemployment that lasted from April 2018 to October 2019. I had at one point about $1,200 in back HOA dues. The monthly dues for my HOA are $174 for a 1-bedroom condo, but I'm now working toward paying my debt back to them, so I pay $225 monthly. This includes access to the pool, which I never received a key to when I moved in, trash pickup, water, and the fact that there is a security gate. In the past 2.5 years, the gate has continuously been broken/left open. It is one of those that has a sensor and is automatic. I, quite honestly, am tired of the gate being open. It is supposed to be closed at all times as a matter of security. I have half a mind to tell my HOA that I will not be paying any dues backward or forward until the issue of the gate is resolved. The way I see it, I am paying for services I don't get that are pretty much explicitly mentioned in the bylaws. And ripe stars, unfortunately we have already reached the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed the content. However, if you cannot wait for more ripe content, then I suggest you head on over to patreon.com/ripeyoutube, where you can find more exclusive Reddit content read by me. Patreon subscriptions start at just $1 per month, and for $1 your name will show up at the end of each of my new videos. However, if you are willing to spend $3 per month, you will get access to more than 50 exclusive Reddit videos, mostly just no mother-in-law stories. However, please understand, I don't want to pressure anyone into spending money, because I am already incredibly grateful that you watch my videos every single day. Thank you so much for your daily support, it really means the world to me, and I hope to see you again tomorrow for the next video.